Hey everybody, welcome back to Daughters of the King. I'm Kathryn Gore. I hope you can hear me. I'm still under the weather. Got my best friend next to me. Y'all, I want to take a break this week from the Jesus article, and I want to talk to you all about this Texas Law Senate Bill 8 that was passed. Earlier today, could still be going on right now. Kamala Harris was in a conference to speak about the importance of women having their own rights to do whatever they want to their own bodies. And the way that this is being pushed, it makes it seem as if these women have lost their total and complete rights to do whatever they want to do. And I was sitting here thinking about this, and I said, that saying, it was a season that my children was like, I do what I want. I do what I want. And it's so funny because they sowed bad seed and it came back to bite them. And they realized as they got older what that phrase meant to them. And it meant them more harm than good. And the mentality that many people, both women and men, have is, I do what I want. There are no boundaries. There's no limit. There is a loss of moral, which affects our character, right? So with this abortion bill that has been passed, the bill that I said the other day that I believe is genius, I'm not going to take that back. I'm not going to take that back. The babies are precious. The babies are absolutely precious in the Lord's eyes. And the bill, I have never heard a bill be promoted in such a way that I'm just super excited. I'm super excited. Many women who don't believe what I believe, which is the word of God, they will say, you're dead wrong for doing what you're doing. And we're going to fight against this because it's my body, my choice. I can tell you this. Something inside of these women who do this, a healing, something needs to take place inside of these women. Either they are being run by selfish motives, self-ambition. I remember seeing someone, stand up and say, I had the opportunity to abort and my life turned out excellent now that I have a career and all of this stuff. It was just like they were promoting abortion in such a way where it was like, you need to do this for yourself, And it's crazy because I was pondering on all of this, and I was thinking back to how when I was small, I remember seeing movies or hearing stories about how women who didn't necessarily have money to have a baby or to raise a child or another child, okay, maybe they had more children, and then after a while a baby came, or she got pregnant, and that woman was faced with a challenge. Either she realized she didn't have money to take care of this baby, so either she had the baby, gave it up for adoption, or she had the baby and left it on the doorstep for someone else to take care of that baby, for that baby to have a better life. Where we are today, the baby's life is not even considered. And I think if you really, 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 really get down to the meat and the bone of this, abortion is so hypocritical because 95% of women who get abortion, they do it because they don't want to have a child. The 5% maybe 3.5% left, the baby has a defect, and they decide to abort the baby. The other, 2.5%, maybe it is incest and rape, and they decide they can't deal with that. Okay, but 95%, this is my opinion, do abortions because they either want to get, they have so many reasons. I'm not even gonna put it out there and name them, but they have so many reasons why they abort their child. And it's not really about the child. It's about how they feel at that moment. And it's unfortunate, y'all, because there is an option that many people have gotten away from, and that option is adoption. That option is adoption. How come the women have to kill? And that sounds very strong, but it's the truth. The women are killing a part of themselves. When you kill your child, that child's a part of your DNA. So a couple years back, I was reading this, or I was hearing this from a pro-life person. And they were saying, a woman who kills a child, who aborts that child, they don't know this, but they have a self-hatredness about themselves. And here's the crazy part, because here's where you get down to the nitty-gritty here. Somebody chose life. Somebody chose life for you. How come you can't choose life for your child? If somebody chose life for you, how come you can't honor life back? You don't have to keep that child. Nowhere in scriptures, nowhere in the law says that you have to keep that child. There is a person that's very close to me that had a child, and she gave her child up for adoption. And guess what? It was one of the best things that she could have ever done, because she couldn't take care of the child, and she gave the child away to parents that love this little baby, and they actually send her gifts for Christmas. They send her, certain things from the baby. Like they make sure they have a relationship with this mother who gave her child away. I'm going to tell you, this is why this is so demonically inspired. If you can watch the women's faces who are shouting abort, which is another word for destroy, kill, terminate, you will see the darkness on the inside of them. And these women need to get healed. They need to get delivered. And God can do it, but these women carry a strong antichrist spirit, and they say, don't tell me what to do. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. So, to have this bill be passed, it's genius, because somebody has to stand up for the babies, right? Now, like I said, Kamala Harris is in a meeting, and she's going to try to reverse this bill. And I pray that you all would have some type of understanding that life was offered to you, and life should be offered to your children. Okay? I want you to just think about that, because that's the only way that you have a voice to stand up and speak for what you're fighting for right now, is because you're here. You have a life. And you should allow for that baby to have a life. Alright? So I want to read this article that I wrote about this Texas 8 bill, or this Texas bill, and we can further explain to you what I couldn't explain the other day because I wasn't feeling good. Still am not, but it's gonna be okay. So I titled this Texas Law Senate Bill 8 Passed, okay? PASSED. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas recently submitted a bill that prohibits doctors from performing abortions if a fetal heartbeat is detected. With the Supreme Court not taking action to block the bill on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021, the bill was put in motion. According to the New York Times, now I got this information from the New York Times, some of these statements I did. According to the New York Times, the law amounts to a nearly complete ban on abortion in Texas, one that will further fuel legal and political battles over the future of Roe versus Wade, the 1973 decision that established a constitutional right to abortion. The law makes no exceptions for pregnancies resulting in incest and rape. You know, the other day I came on and I told you all that I wanted to speak about Bishop Paul Morton, and I didn't have a problem with him, but I had a problem with what his Antichrist spirit was saying. He spoke about incest and rape. Incest and rape are real. They happen. They really do. But it's a very, 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 very small percentage. Very, very small percentage. It's an unfortunate thing, like I was saying the other day, but God can turn it around for his good, right? I had even heard a story about a rape baby, meaning the mother was raped and she ended up having her child. And the woman, she was raped at a young age, so she had the child at a young age, and the mother had support. Okay, everybody knew what happened. She had support, and she raised her daughter, and her daughter said, "I understand that I'm from a rape pregnancy," and she said, "I'm so glad that my mom didn't abort me." It was such a beautiful story. So you tell me, Bishop Paul Morton, man of God, I don't know. You know, I don't understand. You know God can turn things around for people's good. You know God gives life. I don't understand. But that's your battle between you and God. So, I said many women are in an uproar as they feel as if their rights have been taken away. Well, this is not true. They still have rights to eliminate the baby as long as the heartbeat is not detected. According to research, such activity is detected. The heartbeat, such activity to detect the heartbeat is around 6 weeks, in which many of us women know we're not sure if we are with child or not around this time of pregnancy, and this is why this is a genius move. People will say this is so deceiving, it's not okay. But you know what? How many of you women say, I know my body, I know when something's off. So there's your opportunity. I'm not promoting you to get an abortion, but I'm trying to get you to understand your rights have not been taken away. You still have an opportunity on that day to go get checked, to go and kill your child. That sounds so harsh, doesn't it? Such a sad thing. It really is. You all know my story, maybe. I don't know. I put it out there. I did a whole podcast that was about an hour long or so about my story about my abortion. And I put a dear sister story in there too about her abortion. And it really does something to your mind. It really does something to your mind. And I'm telling you, research shows that people who recover from recovery, okay, they wake up in regret. They wake up in regret. I remember the person's story that I shared with, who remains anonymous. She's a nurse, and she was saying she sees this all the time, and she says she only saw one girl wake up and didn't have no emotion. One. Mine, I was so dramatic. I could be a very dramatic person, y'all. I was so dramatic, and I was just like, so dramatic that I woke up early from recovery from whatever they gave me, and I was crying my little head off, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I kept saying I'm sorry, and I was saying I was sorry to God, because I knew, even though I wasn't saved, I knew I did the wrong thing. And God forgave me for that, because he knew I was living in ignorance. He knew that I would never do it again. So, you know, he still called me to be an evangelist. This is when I was like 18 years old maybe. So, you know, you tell me how good God is. I even told y'all that he allowed for me to have a special visitation from my baby that I aborted. Tell me how good God is. Because that guilt is real. Tell me how good God is. Oh, y'all, whether you want to believe it or not, the women who are standing up for abortion are carrying a spirit that hates God. They may come out and say something different, but I'm telling you, it's the Antichrist spirit, and it's something that the enemy has put inside of these women. Whether it is out of ignorance or out of a strong will that they will not be told what to do. It's a form of rebellion. It's a form of, it's just a dark assignment that the enemy's placed here upon the women on this earth. I mean, women are raising up to say, we rule, and you know, come on, y'all. Come on. We're strong. Absolutely we are. But we don't need to take the world the way that this demonic assignment has told us, because we're supposed to be humble. We're supposed to be meek. Okay? You know, that's a whole nother different thing that I could talk about. But I'm telling you all, women who are standing up for abortion in such a way, they do carry this self-hatred, man-hating, antichrist form of rebellion, rejection, murder, Moloch spirit. Who's Moloch? Moloch is a false king or god that is spoken about in the Bible, about how the people would sacrifice their children in the fire to this god. The devil is real, and many of you who are not believers, you always say, why you always gotta be so spiritual? It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. Sometimes it is the flesh. Sometimes our mind is messed up. But it's a spiritual battle, y'all. And we just have to come to an understanding. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, you know, I said this is a genius move. But speaking of this genius move, the Texas law drafted this bill in such a way that it will be difficult to challenge in court. I love this, y'all. Usually a lawsuit seeking to block a law because it is unconstitutional would name state officials as defendants. But the Texas law bears state officials, or bars, excuse me. The Texas law bars state officials from enforcing it, and instead deputizes this to private individuals, okay, to sue anyone who performs the procedure or aids and abets it. This is where this is genius. The patient may not be sued. I want y'all to listen to this. The patient may not be sued, but doctors, staff members at clinics, counselors, people who help pay for the procedure, even the Uber driver taking a patient to the abortion clinic, are all potential defendants. Plaintiffs, who need not have any connection to the matter or show any injury from it, are entitled to $10,000 and their legal fees recover if they win. So I told you all the other day that if a man who laid the seed for that baby to be alive, if he goes and he tells his wife, his girlfriend, his partner that he wants to keep the baby, and the woman says, no, I'm not going to keep the baby. If he finds out that she went against this law and went to an abortion clinic, or went any place to get the baby aborted, anybody who took her there can get sued. The doctors can get sued. The counselor can get sued. All of these people can get sued if they win, or if the father wins. And you know what? Hats off to the fathers, because you know what? The men have lost their voice because the women are carrying this dark assignment of murder for their children. The women are running the families and the households instead of the men. Such a sad thing I saw the other day. It broke my heart. Somebody put it out on Facebook, and it was a man that was at an abortion clinic, and he was screaming, crying, saying, don't kill our baby, don't kill our baby. And he was just like, don't do it. And she kept walking, and he was screaming, and everybody was recording it. He was like, I'm a good dad, don't do this, don't do this. Now, why couldn't that woman let that man have that baby? Why did she have to be so selfish? It's a dark assignment. It's a dark assignment. And you know what? Maybe, many of you saying, well, you don't know that relationship. Maybe he thinks he's a good dad. Okay. Maybe. But how come she couldn't give that baby the benefit of the doubt and allow for that baby to have a good family? It's all because women's rights are blown way out of proportion. That's my opinion, and I'm not taking it back. I'm not taking it back. The patient may not be sued, but the doctors and staffs will. Now, the abortion providers are pushing back on this bill. This is who Kamala Harris is meeting with right now. Some have filed for an emergency application to block this law, making statements like the law would immediately and catastrophically reduce abortion access in Texas, barring care for at least 85% of Texas abortion patients who are 6 weeks pregnant or greater, and likely forcing many abortion clinics ultimately to close. This is the argument. This is what they will be fighting for. Let me share something with you. They have pushed these abortion agendas as if women are not going to get care, right? Their care is not going to be cut off. They're just not going to get care to kill the child. So the way that they're pushing this, it's just so deceptive. It's so deceptive. And it's so crazy because that's a whole nother thing. I was getting ready to say, where do you think these abortion clinics are at? Where do you think they are? Strategically, where do you think they are? Y'all, those who live in Dover, where is the state service center at? In Dover. What neighborhood? Come on, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. Reading between the lines. We need the clinics to be closed. We need this change to happen. We just do. Because God loves the babies. God loves the little babies in the womb. Why can't we? Why can't we? The darkness that is residing in our hearts are real. Something needs to change. We absolutely have something in common with the devil, right? When we agree to do this, because the devil brings death, spiritually and physically. God brings life. He's a life giver. He's the one who plants these little babies, the seed in our womb. God is. So anybody who's fighting this has a spirit that hates God. Whether they understand that to be true or not, that's a different story, but it is true. Okay. Now, Texas is leading the way for change. This could be the beginning of restoration for the United States of America if all states would fall in line in fighting for Senate Bill 8 to pass in their state. I pray that they would abolish abortion altogether. I really do. But that has not taken place yet. However, this is victory to my ears if this bill stands within the U.S., as this would destroy the plans of the enemy. It's time to push back the darkness and take a stand in the righteousness of God. This is what I wanted to talk about tonight. I wasn't going to do this, but I just saw the conference that Kamala Harris put together. And I want you to know she's going to do everything that she can to promote women's rights. Nobody should tell a woman what to do. And I'm telling you that this is a demonic assignment. And I pray to God that this thing doesn't get reversed, because we need to fight for these babies. It doesn't make sense if there's another option for us women to have instead of killing and taking life. It doesn't make sense for us to do this if we have an option to have the baby full term and give it to somebody else. Why do we have to go to death? Why do we have to do that? It's a demonic assignment. So y'all be good. Think about how God is giving you life. Think about how the only reason why you're here to say women's rights, my life, my fight, is because you have life. Somebody gave life to you. And it's only fair for you to give life to somebody else. You don't have to keep the baby. You don't have to keep the baby. But I would suggest for you not to be a hypocrite. I'm going to use that word, y'all, because you have to call it for what it is right now. This is something serious. And give life to that child. So y'all be good. Be safe. And I'm hoping that this would help some of you all know that we have a real option. We don't have to do what the world is telling us to do, which is abort, 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 kill, terminate. It's a sad thing, y'all. The babies are so precious, so beautiful, innocent. The babies are innocent. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Daughters of the King. We appreciate your support. You can reach me at www.dotking.org. That's www.dotking.org. You can subscribe or send a message through live chat, or you can send an email to Kathryn, Kathryn, at dotking.org. This ministry is designed to speak to your heart. Feel free to share your thoughts about the message or give insight on a topic that you would like for me to discuss. We are here for you.